Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to bring you a wonderful topic that I used to talk about more in the past, but I recently found out that more people need to be doing this now, so I'm going to teach about it. This video is all about why loving yourself is the most important thing. Now, other people will try to fight me on this and like, oh, well, I love my family, or I love my mother the most, I love my father the most, etc. And some people will be very stubborn with this topic. This video is not for you, but you can listen to what I'm about to tell you, in that you can't love everyone else or anyone else until you start loving yourself. If I have I don't have an empty glass. I don't keep empty glasses around me. If I have okay, never mind. If I have a glass with no water in it, right, and I'm gonna pour it into your glass, how does that work? You're just gonna give the glass away? You're gonna give yourself away when you're on E? How does a car with no gas drive? It doesn't. Exactly. So there's the end of that argument. When you're trying to love someone else, or even trying to heal someone else, because love is the highest vibration. When you're on a vibration of feeling good and feeling love and feeling just awesome and amazing, then you do a lot better. You have a lot less questions about certain things. You're not as drained when someone comes along, and etc. Because certain people will try to help their family members, try to help their friends, try to help their significant other, and if that person has not found it in their hearts to love themselves, they're gonna be on E, they're gonna get tired and exhausted, and sometimes it's necessary to kind of pull away to call your energy back. Now with me, I'm gonna give you guys some heavy self-love methods in this video. Get ready, and I thought about it. I'm not going to be teaching about mirrors. You guys should stay out of mirrors and stay away from mirrors. Mirrors are very disturbing dimensionally. When you look in a mirror, you're looking at several different versions of yourself every single time. Like you're seeing something about yourself that you don't like or don't want to notice, but you'll notice it to try to correct it. And actually by emphasizing it, you are going backwards, and it's not fun. It's not a good thing. It's not helping you. So I have taught in the past, you write on the mirrors. There's different and basically different things you can put on mirrors to read, but a lot of people will look past that and then they'll read it, they'll get upset about why they don't have what they're writing in the mirror, and then they'll actually go backwards even more. Now, I'm going to teach a bunch of self-love crystals in this video as well. I myself am very big on self-love. I've actually, a period in my life, I went into a deep hole where I just cut everyone off and stopped talking to people, and just even with family members and friends and stuff like that, I shelled up and I holed up to identify my own energy. Sometimes this is necessary for some of you guys, because I was at a point where I didn't really know what made me happy. I didn't know where the happiness was going. I didn't know what affected the happiness. And this is one thing you guys can start off with. It's the Hermit card in the tarot deck, or in reverse, depends upon you guys. So you go into your hole, your hobbit hole. Think of the hobbit hole as like a home. Don't think of it as like, yeah, I'm in a hole now. No, you have to identify your own energy. And some people who I'm helping because I help certain people on a regular basis, people who get crystals and jewelry from me, I will teach them how to use their jewelry to help them love themselves even more. And with one person in particular, a few people in particular, I recently have basically said, because they're around so many different friends, and this is a key point right now, if you're around a whole bunch of friends, you have self-love leaks without even knowing it. It just happens because you're around so many other friends, and they're around so many other people as well. So when you're in a large group of friends, you're not going to identify your self-love leaks. You might not have the self-love you think you do. It's kind of like a collective love, but it's more like a friendship love, which doesn't help you on your own. So when you go on your own and kind of close off your energy, like, this is what my energy's like. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This makes me feel good. This doesn't make me feel good. Maybe this part of me was liking this because I was with my friends, etc. So when you go into that hole and you really close up and you just kind of patch the hole, you're like, okay, this is what my energy is like. This makes me bored. This person makes me feel good to be around. This person, I realize, steals my energy. These people are awful people. These people are really good people. And it happens because sometimes by going in the flow of life, you go into default mode. And when you go into default mode, you're not in control at that point. You're just you're on the train, and you're not really sure where the train is going. So the biggest step in self-love is getting off the train and waiting for the next train to come and deciding if that's the train you want to get on. So The first mode is hole mode, when you go into the hole and you identify certain patterns or certain things about yourself. One thing that I recognize that I was doing that made me really, really happy is smiling. So people will approach me and be like, "You're always smiling, you're always so happy." And I actually studied this and I made a video a long time ago on it. When you smile, your brain actually puts off oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine and all these just good, amazing feelings. And I found when I smiled, I would keep getting good news and I'd get luckier and luckier. If I'm smiling before I play a scratch off, then I'll win the scratch off and I'm like, "Ooh, it won." I'm like, yay. And I found out just smiling on your own, and this could work for you guys as well. It actually takes some effort, and it was really, really difficult for me to learn how to do at first because we have I don't know the exact number. I don't know if it's 71, 7. I don't even remember. 49. I should have researched it before this video. I didn't know I was going to talk about this. A certain amount of muscles in our face to frown, which most people are frowning without even knowing it on a regular basis. So they have frown muscles in their face, and that's why people have an RBF. They're like, because you're used to that. It takes active effort to push your cheeks like this and smile, and then after that, it takes you a while to learn how to smile. Okay, so that's just a suggestion for you guys. If you guys can force yourself to smile, it actually doesn't become forced after a while, and you're freely collecting oxytocin, all these different just good brain hormones being put off, because our brain is pure electricity, and when we think, we're just having, we're putting off different vibrations. So I found out that smiling made me feel very good, and I would get good luck left and right. I remember I challenged myself to smile for a week straight, and that week, it was a very lucky week compared to the week before that when it was just kind of like things were going, they were going. But then I'm like, okay, I'm just winning random lottery tickets now, or scratch off tickets. I have these good news texts and phone calls, and then I started teaching about it. And I found out not many people, and I know when you guys are doing stuff. A lot of you have learned to smile more after my smiling videos, but a lot of you are just not doing it. And it's okay, I understand it, because it's really challenging, and if you tell someone to smile for a minute, they're like, "Are you crazy?" And I actually found out that's really sad. But one way you can start loving yourself more is practice forcing yourself to smile, in a sense that you're not doing it because you're not doing it out of comfort. You're doing it because you know it's helping you release oxytocin, serotonin, and just dopamine and different happy hormones in your brain. You feel like, "Ooh, I feel good." So once you get stuck in the habit of smiling, you become a lot more magnetic. Like, you'll go out and 100,000 people will just walk up to you and be like, "Hi!" And even then, I smile because one thing that's very special about smiling, it helps me love myself in the point to, I'm feeling vibrant, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling all this oxytocin and serotonin and all these happy hormones. But then I get to see other people smile as well. Because some people who just need to see that one smile, if someone in their day is having an absolutely horrible day and they try to take it out on you and you smile, you'll either run them off or you'll make them smile with you, or kind of equal them out. But it doesn't cost you energy because you're holding your smile. You've gotten to a practice holding your smile. One of the easiest ways to be able to love others is by loving yourself with a smile. So when you smile, you actually make the inside of someone smile without even knowing it, and you just did that person a favor. It also comes back on karma points for you, but don't ever do something because it's going to come back to you like that. Just do it because you're a good person. Some people really need that smile, and you loving yourself actually trickled over into loving someone else. That's a really cool way as well. Now, when it comes to self-love and crystals, a crystal you can use for self-love is rose quartz. Of course, everyone knows about rose quartz. I'm not going to go into detail about rose quartz because it's such a well-known gemstone. Everyone knows about rose quartz. It helps you love yourself. It specifically patches heart chakra blockages, and it helps you feel good and calm. It has a certain manganese content in it. It has a different just calming elements in the stone itself, and it just makes you feel nice and good. Rhodochrosite, and I'm going to say some of these pink crystals wrong until I actually come up with certain, because I like to replace certain names of crystals because I don't really like their original names. I call it pink malachite. Malachite has a feminine energy to the stone, but when you wear rhodochrosite, if I'm even saying that right, it invokes transformation. It makes you feel very, very good. You might feel kind of like at first, but you're like, I feel better, and I don't even know why. Especially when worn as a necklace or around the crown, which I do have rhodochrosite in my crown because it helps you stay calm, no matter if you're under emotional attack. So, you might be under emotional attack just because you're listening to someone tell you how their day went, and you don't even know it because someone will tell you how they're feeling, and you're trying to help them by loving them, but their bad energy is spilling over on you because They don't mean to. It's just it's helping them by talking to you. And what? You're an empty cup trying to pour water now, and now you're both equaled out. So that's one thing you can do as well. So rhodochrosite, malachite's really good, but it's very vicious. It's a very fast self-love crystal. It's like a fast self-love crystal, which is it just rips the blockages out. It's not very fun. It's effective, but it's not very fun. Now you can use let me see another self-love crystal. Rhodonite will help patch up your heart chakra. It literally patches like rose quartz, but it's a deeper patching. It's kind of like if you're even crying from the inside from past lives and you can't love yourself because that's why. Rhodochrosite, if you got stabbed in the heart physically or spiritually in a past life, rhodochrosite will patch that blockage. It'll take away the worst of trust issues, especially when it comes to loving others because you're trying to love yourself, right? Well, you should be. Now, one thing you can do as well, and I taught this on TikTok, is self-love water. Get in the habit of doing this 3 times. Don't do 3 times a day is okay. Most of you are not going to stick with that. I'm going to give you guys something you're going to stick with. Take a glass of water, a specific glass of water that's just for this. Write with it on the side of it Sharpie, or you can take a piece of tape, right on top of the tape, and stick it to the cup. Self-love. That's it. 2 words. Self-love, or just love if you would like. I prefer for you guys to write self-love, so you know that you're loving yourself. And then you wait 3 hours after letting the water sit out. Drink this water for about a month straight, and you're going to be a new person. It's pretty cool how it works like that, but you become a new person. You're just drinking self-love. Literally, we're mostly water. The water holds intention. It holds heavy intention, so it eventually incorporates into your energetic and etheric spiritual body. That's really cool, right? Now, here's I already talked about that. Don't be looking in the mirrors for long periods of time. That's not going to help you love yourself. You're going to find things you don't love about yourself on a subconscious level, and it's going to hurt you. You can also, this is really cool as well, you can go into, because some of you are so stubborn when it comes to manifestation, your subconscious mind is such an enemy to yourself that you have to work on the subconscious when you're not conscious. Ooh, what does that mean? Take a piece of paper or a board or some kind of like slit of paper and slide it into your pillow and just write down self-love. So when you go into the dream realm, the last note you leave upon is self-love. You can even say these words out loud as, I guess you can call it incantation. You can call it, because words have power. These words are strong. Self-love, especially when you keep the word short. Self-love. You can just say it out loud throughout the day. Self-love. And you're just putting that, I mean, anything you say echoes into your room on a frequency level. If you don't believe that, keep a pitch bell by you so every time you talk, you can hear this pitch bell ring to remind you that when you speak, it's actually sending out some kind of vibration in the room. So when you say, try just time yourself for, set an alarm for 3 times a day. You say self-love 7 times, or if you like the 3-6-9 method, you say self-love, 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 and then you say self-love 6 times later on the day, etc. You can do this with a glass of water if you like. Get creative with it, but the self-love and the pillow will help you love yourself when you're asleep, and then you'll wake up. You'll actually feel more secure about yourself and more able to love others and just feel really good. I'm going to talk more about, because I just gave you a bunch of methods, guys. Why else is self-love important? You're going to feel completely drained, especially by low energy people when they walk up to you. Even your friends, I'm not saying your friends are low energy, but when someone's not doing well or you have to help someone up and you don't love yourself and you're at that point where you're going to weigh other people down. A lot of you have friends who are just weighing you down without you even knowing it. It's really sad to say that, but it does happen, and you're the kind of friend to stay around because you want to help them, but if your glass is empty, you're not going to be any place that's able to help them. So you might as well repair yourself now if you want to be a good friend and help them. If they're too much, if they're going on the dark side, then you can back away, etc. If you don't know who's good and bad, ask God and be like, okay, God, can you remove the bad people from my life and replace them with good people? And you'll see in the next week that just people stop messaging you and people stop coming around and people don't want to invite you anywhere, and you just, etc. So that's one thing as well. When you pray, God, please remove all the bad people from my life, you might just end up with no one in your life. And then what God does is he actually, because it's kind of like digging, like when in construction they'll dig and then they put something new. So if that hotel was there, You have a hotel, it was really old. God, this hotel is really, really, really old. Can you please remove this hotel for me, please, if it's not meant to be there? The next day, the hotel won't be there. There'll be just a paved ground and a bunch of construction equipment. A week goes by. Now the thing's coming up into a new hotel, like a brand new hotel without cracks and leaks and stuff like that. But this whole video is about why self-love is so important. You have to ask yourself, literally, I would suggest you guys go into a hole and basically start writing stuff down. How do you feel when you're on your own? How do you feel when you're out in public? What causes you to feel this way? Just interrogate yourself, because in the end, we are our own best friends and our own worst enemies. I've gotten to a point in my self-love journey where I love myself so much to the point where I could just go out and make anyone smile. I have people who try to be mean to me in public, and I will actually, if I go to a restaurant, for example, and this is something I actively do, I just do this because this makes me feel good. If a waiter or a waitress just treats me absolutely horribly, like they'll hang up the phone, they'll yell and scream at me, I'll actually make it an obligation to go to that restaurant again, or even sit down or try to get that as my waiter or waitress, and just be so shockingly not nice to them, to the point where, because most of you would react like, how dare them, oh, screw them, I mean, you'll try to go at them. That person's already low. You're going to kick someone when they're down. So one thing I'll do is, at a restaurant, if the person's absolutely nasty, I will just be like extra nice to that person, like, how are you doing? And the person's like, what's wrong with this person? Why are they so nice? And then I'll keep coming back to the point where, because I just do this because it makes me feel good, and I love myself to the point where I'm able to identify this and recognize this. And if you guys want to do this as well, you can do it. It's a good social experience. It's a good social experiment, but sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's a good social experiment, but one thing you guys can do is that stop being mean to people who are mean to you. They're not mean to you because they feel good being mean to you. They're being mean to you because nothing feels good for them. And the best thing in their life would be for someone to smile at them and not smile at them. So when you smile at them and the smile breaks and you want to fight them, that just fuels their world versus just be persistent, because maybe they're having a bad day and you don't really know that person. So the next time you come back and be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's your name? Like, how's your week going? And they might be the most negative person in the world, but just start bringing up positive stuff to them, and you just do that person a favor. That person who might have just killed themselves because no one's been nice to them and people were yelling and screaming at them is now going to be around on the earth for another 30 years because one person would smile at them and ask them how they did. You'd be surprised. So, yeah, just be nice to people. By loving yourself to such an extent, and like even people in the gym walk up to me like, oh, you make me feel so good just by smiling. I'm like, that's the point. When you radiate light, it shines into your environment. At first, it might blind some people, but the people worth saving, you're really going to help them by loving yourself. It's actually a mission, and this is why it's so important to love yourself. It's because other people need love. Love is the highest vibration, and if you love yourself so strongly to the point where you're just emanating light, it doesn't take any other effort to help other people love themselves as well. It's a very powerful message. I've been noticing this, and this is just a fun habit for me to do is, if you see someone who doesn't love themselves, try to pick them up just by you loving yourself. You're not wasting any energy, and it's helping you become stronger. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!